This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news tonight, Grand Bahama's economy on the verge of a rebound as the government is expected to make a decision on the way forward for the island in the coming weeks. President of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, Kevin Seymour, is a member of the committee that was appointed by the government back in March to review portions of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement set to expire next month. Seymour says that report was completed and submitted to the government the end of June.
They are currently reviewing the report, and I'm advised that in early course, and certainly before the 4th of August, they will be making an announcement. Obviously, I cannot say what they will be announcing because the decision is theirs to make, but we certainly have made some recommendations to the Prime Minister and his cabinet, which we feel are representationally faithful of the sentiments of the local business community.
While Seymour could not disclose the details of those recommendations, he says he is optimistic that if adopted, Grand Bahama's economy will improve significantly.
Our terms of reference basically said we should come up with recommendations to re-energize the local economy in Grand Bahama. And certainly we took those and we built our report around those terms of reference. So we believe that certainly our recommendations, if adopted, will result in an improved economy in Grand Bahama.
As the powers that be focus on reviving the nation's second city, the Chamber President says he is concerned about the recent turn of events at Bahama in New Providence.
I am hopeful that the transaction as previously conceived can be salvaged in some way. I am concerned about the actions of certain of the parties in terms of specifically the filing for bankruptcy protection in the state of Delaware. That was a significant move in my view as an insolvency practitioner.
Although the mega project is located in the nation's capital, Seymour believes it could have far-reaching effects.
You mentioned that the Bahama would have employed persons from just about every island in the archipelago, and so the effects of a failed project would ripple and reverberate almost immediately throughout the archipelago. So we all have to be positive and lend support to the government in its efforts to try to bring about a resolution to this.
The island of Abaco and the Keys showing economic promise. Ricardo Lightbourne has the details.
Green Turtle Key was one of the first islands settled in the Bahamas in the 1700s by the Revolutionary War Loyalists. With the Bahamas celebrating 40 years of independence, the people of Green Turtle Key are grounded and hardworking. Chief Councilor Matthew Lowe is excited about his home, just 3 miles in length and reached only by boat. A visit to Green Turtle Key and you don't want to leave.
I've met a lot of people that have second homes here, and some of them, tell me that they only had to come here once to see how the place was, how the people were, and they loved it so much they decided to buy a home. And so it's really important. That kind of characteristic of the island is very important.
The town of New Plymouth is quiet and historic. The Aberlour Museum is a must-see with fascinating historic artifacts. A Loyalist Memorial Garden is erected in memory of the founders of Green Turtle Key. The real treasure of Green Turtle Key are the children. Matthew says the young people is the focus. Giving them the best every day assures the future for Green Turtle Key.
We have a lot of kids, a lot of young people in this community, and I realize the importance. I'm involved in some children's programs through the church, and I realize how important it is to direct them at that age because they are our future. And as chief counselor, I'm a very young person myself, and very privileged to have this position, and you can see what a young person can do if they make the right decisions on those things.
A ride through the streets of Green Turtle Key and you will know of pride and the loyalty that people have in keeping their island pristine. It's that self-help approach that makes Green Turtle Key very special.
Usually whatever we find we're lacking here, if we need something, rather than sit around and wait on government to do something for you, we have the mind to come together and make it happen ourselves. We have to look out for ourselves.
Green Turtle Key, Abaco, is an historic island, and as the Bahamas celebrates 42 years of independence, the people are united in love and service. Ricardo Lightborn, ZNS Network News.
The Anglican Diocese continues to invest in education here in the Bahamas. These institutions have helped to establish a firm educational foundation. Tonight, the Anglican bishop assures that the Anglican Church remains committed to the process of education in the years ahead. The Anglican Diocese in the Bahamas continuing its focus on education, having established a strong foundation over the years.
The Anglican Church has been in education since the 1800s, when parishes had grant and aid schools attached to them, run by catechists and taught by priests. And then at emancipation, the Anglican Church was integrally involved in the process of preparing the newly emancipated slaves to face the world and to be equipped. And of course, in recent times, through the Anglican Central Education Authority.
Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos, the Right Reverend Leish Boyd, talks about how Anglican schools in the country continue to be successful.
Because a school doesn't just teach you how to read and write and how to count, but the school teaches you through various subjects how to think, how to analyze. But that's not all a school does. A school teaches children how to relate to each other, how to relate to the world, how to function in their society, how to appreciate their culture. All of that is what the school does, and that's why the Anglican Church remains in education.
As for the future of Anglican schools in the Bahamas,
we want to continue to be an effective tool in impacting the lives of our young people. And through impacting the lives of our young people, shaping the character of society, we want to become better and better at that. As every organization is organic, so we're growing and evolving all the time, we want to improve and become even better at what we do. And of course, the key to doing that is not just skill, but the key to doing that is God.
Still on education, it's perhaps one of the saddest stories in education in recent time, the tragic drowning of 2 students of the Martintown Primary School more than 10 years ago. Tonight, one of the heroes at the center of that episode is speaking out. She says while she found fulfillment in her rescue efforts that day, promises were made to her and have not been kept, and she's looking for answers. Megan Shepard has her story.
The September 6, 2003 issue of the Freeport News reads, "Student heroes financially set for college." And in the corner, a picture of the 15-year-old Synovia Cooper. Back in 2003, a group of students from Martintown Primary School traveled to Sweetings Key for a field trip. Cooper was on the island with her grandmother, where the students ate lunch. She says the students went swimming, and she eventually wandered out to the bank where they were. Synovia, now 28 years old and married, relives that day.
At one point, one of the students, they were playing, the movie Baywatch. That was out back then, and they was playing, that they was trying. And I pick up, I was like, "You okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And I said, "Okay, y'all can continue to play." But time as I turned to walk back up on land, I see my foot start sinking. And when I turned, the kids then was done getting pulled out. Tide was coming in. So, nothing much I could do was just take off my shirt and just go back in the water. And I started saving a couple of students. I saved at least 7. And after they done get all the kids in the boat and back on land, they started doing their head count when they realized there was 2 students missing.
Carrie says she, along with 3 other boys and an older gentleman, helped to save the visiting students. She says they were hailed as heroes and even had a heroes parade in New Providence in their honor. There were many other recognition ceremonies, stories in the local daily and on television. Carrie says a number of promises were made to them, but over 10 years later, She has yet to receive the promised reward.
The scholarship, and they promised to give me money. And I haven't heard back from anybody, anything. I've been seeking out, calling around, and no one calls back. So I don't know what's going to be the outcome.
Cooper says while she eventually did not graduate from St. George's High School, numerous promises were made to her by government officials and nothing materialized.
I didn't want it to come to this point, but I just want help. You know, we all here working hard, struggling, trying to do what they got to do to get by every day. But I did something heroic, and I've been promised, but nothing has been due to me. So I would like for the government or someone to answer back or call me back to say, well, you know, this is what, and it's just something.
Megan Shepard, CNS Network News.
Now, we contacted the then Minister of Education, Alfred Sayers. He told us he can recall the incident and said he will do whatever he can to facilitate the matter. He suggested that we contact the Ministry of Education for an official comment. We reached out to ministry officials, but up to news time, we were still awaiting an official response. Stay with us. The Northern Edition is coming right back.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Our birthday is a special time for many, and we found a special gem who had 100 reasons to celebrate. Family and friends assembled at Le Chateau on the Greens for the big splash. Italia Hall reports.
It was an evening of elegance for Clarice Robinson, who celebrated her 100th birthday. Yes, this quiet gem was born on July 9th in 1914 in the Turks and Caicos Island. Ms. Robinson is the mother of 8 children, 2 of whom are now deceased. On Friday evening, family members and friends came from near and far to joining the celebration. They say they are just thankful to God for bringing her this far.
36,501 days. That is a long time. There is a scripture where God promised that those that are faithful to Him, at some point their days will be like the years of a tree. This to me is proof of God's goodness, His faithfulness to His promise that He makes to those that are faithful to Him.
Ms. Clarice Robinson has quite a number of grandchildren. We spoke to 2 of them, Ruth and Richard Mizik. They say they are happy to share the moment with their grandmother.
This has always been a prayer and desire of hers that she would live to see 100. And to God be the glory, she has lived, she has seen that day. So we can say she's outlived that day.
Many of us have traveled from near and far. But the most important thing we realize this evening is that God is still in control. He is still a God of miracle. He is still a God of healing. He's still a keeping God.
Many are hoping that this precious pearl will be around for years to come. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Italia. The Bishop Michael Eldon School preparing to celebrate a major milestone later this month. The Anglican School has been making a significant impact in the lives of young people on Grand Bahama for the past 5 decades, and officials are excited about this big achievement. Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos, the Right Reverend Leish Boyd.
Over the last 50 years, this school has made a tremendous contribution to the Freeport, Grand Bahama, and the wider community. First of all, in impacting the lives of many, many students. But through those students, going out into the community and into the wider world and making a difference.
Principal at BMES Anita Doherty and President of the Alumni Association David Wallace are excited about the upcoming anniversary celebrations.
I want to thank the alumni because they are doing a wonderful job, and to have Bishop join us for the day has really put the icing on the cake for us, and so we're appealing to all of you. We have so many of our students who are coming from away, and we really want to make this memorable.
And we're expecting students to come from as far as Hong Kong. Some will come from China, some will come from Canada, some will come from America, some will come from the Turks and Caicos, and some will come from Nassau, Abaco, and Bimini, just to name a few. We expect hundreds to come back and support this, from the first graduating class of 1966 that graduated 6 persons to the present graduating class of 2015.
The MES 50th reunion activities will kick off on Friday, July 31st with a culture night. A gala banquet and a concert will be held on Saturday, August 1st, and on Sunday, August 2nd, there will be a worship service and beach bash. In other news, the Grand Bahama Port Authority rewarding one of the island's top students. The 6th grader from the Sunland Baptist Academy recently won a national award, and executives took time out to honor the student for her achievement. Megan Shepard reports.
The National Primary School Student of the Year, Samaya Lundy, meeting with the president of the Grand Bahama Port Authority after her major accomplishment. Samaya beat out 128 students from around the country with her long list of academic and extracurricular activities. President Ian Roll encouraging Samaya to continue her academic excellence as she enters the 7th grade. He presented her with a small gift.
I would like to present this small token to one of the smartest kids in the entire Bahamas. Thank you very much for showcasing Freeport. Also, I understand that you're a God-fearing young lady, and that is most important. I would encourage you to continue to focus on your education and keep God at the center of your life.
Thank you. I also have a token of appreciation. This is a copy of the Student of the Year book, and it's also signed.
Chief Financial Officer Deanne Seymour says this honor is especially rewarding, not only for Samaya and her family, but the entire island of Grand Bahama.
We at the Port Authority have been sponsoring this program for a few years now. And so, it's always our hope that we bring home a student from Grand Bahama and to actually do it. I know we've had, I think, a few in the past, yes, but now it's now refreshing, and this is also our 60th year anniversary. So I think this is really special for us here on Grand Bahama.
Samaya's mother, Chantel Lundy, says that Samaya excels at anything she puts her mind to and notes that the family is extremely proud of her.
Having her nominated was icing on the cake, really, and of course, having her win was just amazing. It wasn't happenstance, but at the same time, through the years as she grew, that wasn't an ambition of ours or hers, but, hard work paid off for her. It was an unexpected, or I should say a pleasant, unexpected surprise and reward.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
It's time now for Ask the Doctor.
This is Ask the Doctor. Welcome. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Pauline T. from Abaco asks, for the past 2 days, I had to use the bathroom every 20 minutes, and it hurts a lot every time I pass urine. Do I have an infection? If so, what can I do to prevent this from happening again? Thanks for your questions, Pauline. And yes, it sounds like you may have a urinary tract infection, also called a UTI. Urine, which is made by the kidneys, travels down into the bladder and is removed from the body by way of the urethra, which is the opening of the urinary tract. Although the urinary system is designed to keep bacteria out, sometimes these defenses fail. When that happens, bacteria travels up the urethra, grow and multiply in the bladder, and can cause a full-blown infection. Any part of the urinary tract can be affected, including the kidneys, but the urethra and bladder are the most common. Women are at higher risk of getting urinary tract infections when compared to men because bacteria can reach the bladder more easily in women. This is because the urethra is shorter and located closer to the rectum compared to men. Therefore, bacteria have a shorter distance to travel to cause infections, especially if you wipe from back to front instead of front to back after a bowel movement. Speak to your doctor if you have any concerns about developing a UTI, because increasing age, being postmenopausal, or if you are sexually active can increase your risk. If you have questions or just concerned about your health, please email askthedrbahamas@gmail.com. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Be sure to check out the first Seagrape Homecoming Friday, July 31st through Sunday, August 2nd on the main road in Seagrape, 8 Mile Rock. Don't go away, sports is up next with Ricardo Lightborn.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Uniform Place Limited, an authorized Dickies dealer. Get 25% off school logos during July. Located near the YMCA, 3527997.
Hi, I'm standing on the site of your future home. I'm also standing above millions of termites. Fortunately for you, you chose to protect your investment with Budget Pest Control, unlike your neighbor here. Budget Pest Control protects your home by using the most effective termiticide coupled with our advanced knowledge of termite biology combined with our precision equipment like the Yellow Fellow. Budget Pest Control. Always professional, always reasonable. To be protected, call now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Snackville, located number 2 Millennium Mall. Sweets, treats, snacks, and more. Snackville has your favorite snack for that snack attack.
Spruce up that kitchen or bathroom? Bullets Plumbing has your list of items. Faucets, kitchen sinks, bathtubs, toilets, water heaters, pipes, fittings, pumps, water tanks, pedestals, and repair parts. And when you're done, add a splash of decorative accessories from Seasons Home Decor. Visit their newly constructed building on West Atlantic Drive. Phone 351-2900. Bullets Plumbing. Your satisfaction is their reward.
Grab your flip-flops, swimsuit, and shorts. It's time for the Grand Bahama Regatta at Tino Beach. 2 days. Grab your flip-flops, swimsuit, and shorts. It's time for the Grand Bahama Regatta at Tino Beach. 2 days of sailing, entertainment, dominoes, eats, and drinks.
Everybody, and welcome to Sports of Ricardo Live. Tonight, this one goes out to a very, very good friend of mine who has gone to the other side. I'll tell you what, we're going to miss Head Sidney Stewart down in Turks Island passed yesterday, and he was one of us, and we will miss him. Well, actually competing in the Ray tournament in New Providence was one of Grand Bahama's very own boxers knocked out his opponent and actually brought him a gold. Our Kimberly Mullings almost got knocked out, but before she got knocked out, she filed this report.
It's hard to believe that it was only Justice Tate's first time in the ring since he managed to knock out his opponent in 1 minute and 34 seconds. He says he enjoyed the experience.
It was a good fight. It was a good experience. It was my first amateur match, so I'm very proud of what I accomplished. Teaching experience is a learning experience. I enjoyed it. I got to display my power and the fruits of my training. A match in Nassau was beautiful. It was wonderful. I really enjoyed it.
18-year-old Tate competed at the amateur novice level and says he feels like all of his hard work and training has been worth it.
I felt as if, my training paid off. I work very hard in the gym and I put in a lot of effort and I take my sport very seriously as I wish to become a professional someday.
Though the champion has only been boxing for a year and a half, he believes the sport has taught him a lot of valuable skills.
No matter what your circumstances, that if you put enough training and effort into something, that it basically will come to fruition and then you can achieve your dreams through hard work and dedication. You have to be disciplined in your diet and your training. The time you wake up, you have to be disciplined in your mental state, not to be shaken when you see another fighter who looks bigger than you.
Trainer Lionel Morley says the group performed exceptionally well. He's pleased that the boxers were on full display while in New Providence.
Actually did exceed far better than the expectations we have set out, to the point where they were questioning us as to how many fights these guys have, and in fact, if it was in fact their first fight. And like one of my colleagues say, you could play basketball, you could play football, you can't play boxing. When you're in there, either you're ready or you're not. We were ready Saturday night.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Total Sports.
Well, Superintendent Loretta Mackey is in California participating in the Special Olympic torch run. And yesterday, she was in Oakland, California, and a total team effort. Loretta also took time to celebrate down there, as well as the participation by the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Loretta with players of Oakland Raiders also showing their support for the Special Olympics. Loretta also a special athlete, Daniel Bandit, from Pennsylvania. And also they were in Danville, California. Superintendent Mackey representing the 242 in California. And also the Flame of Hope will be carried through some 120 cities and towns, communities across the state of California before it goes to Los Angeles. Loretta's on Team A, and some 10 teams cross the Golden State Bridge today. Opening ceremony for the 2015 Olympic Games will be held, that is July 25th in Los Angeles, and Loretta Mackey is doing her part and having a very, very good time out there, making sure the 242 is represented. If I can get Sabrina to run from here to Fish and Road, we'll be all right with 242. I got to go. Bye.